Alright guys, this is Big L from Cars and Coffee 72. I'm getting ready to put these factory lifters back in, and I'm going to explain to you real quick how this works. Okay? So when you put the factory lifters back in, you'll see that some of the lifters have a hole in them. The ones that have a hole are the MDS lifters. These ones here that don't have the hole on the very side right here are the non-MDS lifters. This happens to be a newer style lifter, that's why there's a little hole there. I guess it's supposed to help with oiling versus the older style. Doesn't really matter though. I mean, it's exactly the same lifter, so don't sweat that. What you're looking for is you're looking for this big hole. Those are the MDS ones, okay? Same thing with this. Older style, newer style, non-MDS. MDS lifters, holes, okay? Those holes right there plug up when the oil pressure hits and the MDS solenoids click on and off, and it seals that hole, and it causes these MDFs and these lifters to go kind of limp, so that there's not enough pressure inside these to push the valve open and closed, and that's how it goes into the 4-cylinder mode. Okay, one thing you got to pay attention to is these little cassettes that these sit in. If you look on these cassettes, see if I can get a good picture of it here. You see it says MDS rear, and then this one right here says MDS front. So obviously this would go in the rear of the motor, and that one would go in the front. You can also tell the difference too, because if you have aftermarket ones and they're not labeled, the MDS front ones, as you can see in the center here, the MDS front ones, they don't have like a little ear tab by the bolt hole. The MDS rear has that little tiny tab right there. Okay, so you gotta look for that little tab, and you'll know that that's the rear cassette that these sit in. The other thing too is if you're looking at the top of these, you can see the top of these ones are smooth bored. Okay, those smooth bored looking ones are always the non-MDS ones. The ones that have like a little cup on the top and it looks like a little C-clip, those are always the MDS ones, okay? And the way that these are oriented in the motor on the driver's side is 2 MDS in the very rear, and in the middle will be non-MDS. And then in the front part right here will be non-MDS, and then in the very front near the timing chain will be MDS. Okay, so it's non-MDS 2, or I'm sorry, MDS, the 2 first ones, and then the 2 second ones non-MDS, the 3rd second one's non-MDS, and then the very front one's MDS. Okay, and then I'll show you the other side in just a minute. Okay guys, so on the passenger side, it's going to be the opposite, okay? So if you're looking at the lifter holes, it's going to be MDS on the inside, MDS on the inside, non-MDS on the outside, non-MDS on the outside, okay? So if you're looking at your front, both of your lifters with the holes on the inside, both your non-MDS on the outside. That when you slide them in like so, they're orientated correctly, and they should slide right in there. Now mind you, I used a lot of that engine lube, this stuff right here, okay? It's the engine assembly lube. I just gooped it all over everything. The more of this crap you got, the better, because it will lubricate spots that sometimes are just dry, period, okay? So don't be afraid to use that crap. And then also make sure that you're orientating these so that, you know, the rear is in the rear, front's in the front. And there's plenty of videos on this, so I mean, if you get confused, just, you know, look up a couple videos online. But remember, on this side, MDS lifters in the middle, non-MDS on the outsides. And then on the driver's side, it's non-MDS on the inside and then MDS on the outside. Okay, so they're just opposites, that's all. Pretty simple. But like, again, don't be afraid to just totally cream these babies up. The more of this engine rebuild lube, the better, okay? Because you want everything extra lubricated. You don't want to have any lubrication issues. And the other thing is with this engine lube, it's great so when you go to start it up for the first time, you don't get a dry start. You know, it doesn't start making all kinds of weird noises until the oil pump starts going. Plus, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the oil pump relay and the oil pump the fuel pump relay and the fuel pump fuse out. That way I can crank it over a few times so that the new oil pump gets oil in it, pumps oil all over the place. And then once I know that it's, you know, properly oiled up, then I'll put the fuses back in, the relay back in, and then fire it up. So that's how it works, all right? And I thank you guys for watching. Like I said, don't be afraid to follow, subscribe. It really helps me out making more videos. And I'm seriously thinking about possibly doing a giveaway. Anybody who's interested in something like that, you know, give me your feedback. You know, don't be afraid to leave comments, and I can kind of go over what I'm thinking. All right, I'm thinking about doing it way different than everybody else and making your odds of winning way better. So stay tuned. I think you guys will dig it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.